Hey guys! Today I am 21 weeks and 1 day pregnant. I had an appointment yesterday at my OB's office, so I was waiting until that was done to film the video so that I could give you guys a little bit of update. This is going to be another one of the videos where I just go, everything's the same! Yay! So I don't know if my 20-week update will already be up by the time that you see it. I mean, it will be, but I don't know when it's going to be updated because at this current moment in time, my iMovie is crashing every single time that I try to export the movie, which is really irritating, but trying to figure that problem out, and then that will be up. So hopefully this will be posted next week. So today it is the 16th of February 2017, and again, I'm 21 weeks pregnant. Symptoms that have carried over from last week and the week before that and whatnot have been being hungry, which again is considered totally normal during this point in your pregnancy. I mean, the baby is taking in more nutrients than it was before, and so you need to eat a little bit more than you were before as well. And I'm sure there are other reasons for why that is, but basically I'm still freaking hungry all the time. So I'm trying to work on eating things that are healthy weight gain as opposed to unhealthy weight gain, and that's really hard because I no longer have really any cravings, and I don't really have any food aversions either, but I don't really have any cravings except still for apple juice and spicy things. So I'm back to my pre-pregnancy sort of eating habits, which basically consist of nothing sounds good, and so I'm gonna eat something easy. And of course, what is easy is not always necessarily healthy. So I'm trying to really focus on eating healthily as opposed to just eating to eat. On the subject of weight gain, my doctor said that because I started out as a very small and low weight, that my maximum weight gain should be around 35 pounds. They say that normally for average sized women, it's about 25 pounds and you'd want to try not to go over that. But because I am a smaller person in general, 35 pounds is fine. At the clinic yesterday, I was weighing at 122.8 pounds, but that is with clothes and shoes and a full stomach and everything like that. Normally when I weigh myself first thing in the morning after I've peed and before I've eaten. And I'm still, this morning I was about 118 pounds. So anywhere between 118, 120 pounds, 122, whatever, that is generally what I'm at. But 122.8 is a little bit on the high side, and I don't think that that was as accurate of a representation as 118 is. Before I get into one of the new symptoms that I've had, I'll just continue telling you guys what went down in the doctor's office. They checked the baby's heart rate and it is at 150, which is great. My blood pressure was at 106/56 and they said that was fine. My uterus is now measuring at 20 centimeters, which they said that once you get to about 20 weeks pregnant, your uterus should be measuring about the same in centimeters. So if you're 20 weeks, 20 centimeters, 21 weeks, 21 centimeters, etc., etc. They said obviously it's not going to be exact, but that once you get to 20 weeks, that's basically what you're looking at, whereas before that, it doesn't really have a correlation. So now at 21 weeks, my uterus is at 20 centimeters, and it should kind of follow together as I progress through the pregnancy. One thing that did sort of irritate me about my appointment yesterday was at my previous appointment, not my ultrasound appointment, but my previous appointment just to check up, they asked if I wanted to do a quad test. It's a blood test that tests for deformities and things like that, disabilities and whatnot, as far as I'm aware. And they asked me if I wanted to do that, and I said yes. And then she never gave me any orders. She just said, I will let the lab know. And so I assumed that I would be getting a call in order to schedule that. But I never got anything, and so I figured, okay, maybe it's just not time to do it yet. So I had my ultrasound, whatever, went yesterday, and they asked, did you get your results back for the quad test? And I said, well, I don't think I've taken one. And they said, oh, okay, yeah, we didn't see that you had any results in there. So, and then when the doctor came in, I told her I never took that test, and she said, oh, well, I gave you the lab slip, but we never got any results. She never gave me a lab slip. I think it must have slipped her mind because we were talking about my gender scan and my next appointment and this and you know, all this other stuff. So I don't think she realized that she never actually gave me a lab slip and never actually sent me to get blood work done. So I asked her if I needed to do it again, like if I still needed to do it, and she's like, no, you're fine. I was like, I don't know what that means. And I didn't want to press it because they had 2 other practitioners who were busy, or at least not in the office. I think they were both doing deliveries at the time, but so they were short 2 practitioners at the clinic, and so I didn't want to keep her there unnecessarily long. I figured I would just ask on a phone call or something like that. But I did kind of get frustrated because it was like, well, you didn't send me with any lab orders, and I would like to get that test done, but is it too late to do it now? I mean, can I still do it? Is there a time frame where you can only do it before 20 weeks pregnant or something? I mean, I don't know anything about it, so it was a little frustrating that she didn't seem quite so willing to discuss it a little bit further. The other thing that bothered me was that neither the PA nor my doctor could tell me an average size of my baby. So my baby's about 13 ounces based off of the measurements of his bones, you know, his femur, his skull, his everything like that. Based off of that, he is approximately 13 ounces, but they didn't measure like a full length. And I know that there are averages of that length. I mean, obviously you have a head to rump average and then, you know, everything like that. So you can approximately guesstimate how long the baby is. I mean, it's out there. So I asked them, I said, you know, what is his estimated, you know, how big is he in centimeters or inches or whatever, give me something. And they were like, well, we don't measure that, so we don't really know. And I was like, okay. Okay, and that was all I got. So I felt, I mean, I'm aware that these appointments are very short, they're very quick. You're just there to make sure that the baby, you know, essentially nothing, you're not gonna go into labor and that the baby is still there and still has a heartbeat. So they're short appointments, I understand that, but I felt a little bit like I just kind of got brushed off because she was busy and she didn't want to go into detail about it. I don't know, that left me with a more negative experience, which is the first negative experience that I've had from that entire, from the women's center, the hospital. So kind of shitty, but oh well. Baby is moving all the time. He still sticks to a basic schedule where he moves more in the mornings and at night. So when I'm laying in bed or just when I'm sort of relaxing, and then throughout the day it's just little movements here and there as he readjusts or whatever. He does kick me in the bladder, which kind of sucks, which means I pee more often because I don't want him to kick me in the bladder and to feel like, oh my gosh, I have to pee. So I pee more often because of that, and then I also pee more often because I just need to pee more often. And then I also pee more often because I don't want to sneeze or cough or anything like that and accidentally pee my pants while I'm in school. If I'm at home, who the fuck cares, really, let's be honest. But if I'm at school, I really do not want to have to then drive 25 minutes away to change my pants and also, you know, deal with the fact that I peed my pants in class. That would be very embarrassing. That is definitely something that I want to avoid doing if at all possible. One of the new symptoms that I've been having, my oh my, a new symptom, oh my gosh, it's a miracle. So on the 10th of February, which I believe is like the day of that I filmed or posted that last video or whatever, last week I was working and I started to feel, I used to travel a lot before I moved to the US. We would travel a whole lot and we would take long plane rides, and in long plane rides, you know, you take off your shoes and then your feet swell, and then putting your shoes back on feels like crap because your feet are swollen. And so I was feeling like that, like my feet were kind of swollen and uncomfortable, and so I took off my shoes, and sure enough, well, I didn't take off my shoes, I didn't have shoes on, but I took off my socks to look at my feet, and sure enough, my feet were pretty swollen. So kind of sucked. It was a lot more painful than I remember having swollen feet being, and what sucked is that it was a really especially busy day at work, so I couldn't get up from my desk and like walk around very much. I basically had to just sit there, and the way that my desk is set up, I can't really put my feet up in a way that is comfortable to also work at my computer at the same time. You know, working at my desk, trying to elevate my feet, trying to drink water, trying to all this kind of stuff to help the swelling go down. It was just really miserable that day. Since then, I have been able to avoid such bad swelling because I've been walking around. Walking around definitely helps a lot. Drinking more water, I haven't noticed a direct correlation between how much water I drink yet, but I know that it does help, so I'm trying to consciously drink more water and help not get swollen again, because I could feel it going from my toes and I could literally feel it start going up above my knees, and it was really awful. It was pretty crap. So that is a new symptom that I've been dealing with the past week that sucks, and basically it's another one of those symptoms that there's really not anything that you can do except elevate and drink more liquid, and by liquid I mean water. So Last thing that I wanted to mention is just that maternity pants are starting to be a must. I'm gonna try to look for another pair of maternity pants because the ones that I got from Old Navy they're good, but they're not perfect. They're not incredibly comfortable. They just work because they actually fit and I can wear a pair of pants without feeling like my blood circulation is being cut off or like my uterus is being squished. So I definitely need to look for another pair because, as you guys will see in my belly shot, it's starting to get really uncomfortable. This is actually one of the few pairs of pants that I can still wear and not suffer, but at the same time it's still very uncomfortable. So I think that's all I wanted to mention. I don't think there's anything else right at this very moment that I needed to talk about. So I will go ahead and show you my belly shot. So here is from the front, which I don't know how well you're going to be able to see because my shirt is black, but there's my belly from the front. From the side and the other side. This is my belly band, and I basically am using it just to keep that from being super obvious, but this is like the last pair of pants that I have that I can actually button up and zip up this far. My other ones I can't even zip anymore, so it's getting to be really uncomfortable, and even these are not comfortable, but the belly band and the little button expander really help. Here is from the front, and again baby is moving more towards this side of my body as opposed to this side, but I do still feel movement over here. It's just more focused here. And from that side and from that side. So I'm pleased to say that my little skull is still faring quite well. He's still doing okay, but he is starting to get stretched. So we are moisturizing the tattoos to help keep them from developing any harsh marks on them. Hopefully this one doesn't experience a whole lot of damage in the end. And that's my belly. That was it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, leave a comment, subscribe, like the video, yada yada yada. Comment on what can improve, what is good, blah blah blah. Just talk to me because I will talk back for the most part, because sometimes when I try to answer comments, YouTube won't let me for whatever reason. But I do try to always get back to you guys when you do comment. So continue doing that. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day or night wherever you are in this world, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye!
You have eye boogers.
Notice how I don't go to help him clean it with— no! With my hands, I make him do it with his, because